Before you, every morning looked the same. Another sky, another empty day. I learned to smile without a reason why, just keeping lonely dreams alive. Then you appeared like summer after rain, a quiet light that washed away my pain. You never knew how much your gentle eyes brought my forgotten heart to life. You never asked me who I used to be. You simply loved the man you chose to see. You walked into my life like dawn across a sleepless sky. One touch, one smile, and suddenly my soul remembered how to fly. You walked into my life when hope was almost out of sight. If every miracle is just one name to me, it will always be yours. We built forever out of little things, coffee at sunrise, old familiar dreams. Your hand in mine made ordinary days feel like forever had arrived. There was no promise written in the stars, just two imperfect hearts without a God, finding a home inside each other's arms, where silence spoke the loudest words. I never thought that love could feel this true, until the world became a place with you. Oh, you walked into my life like dawn across a sleepless sky. One touch, one smile, and suddenly my soul remembered how to fly. You walked into my life when hope was almost out of sight. If every miracle is just one name to me, it will always be yours. If time should steal the colors from my days, if seasons carry all we love away, no passing year could ever change the truth. The best of me began with you. When should these hands grow weaker as they age, and every photograph begins to fade, the first page of my heart will still remain. The moment you whispered my name, you walked into my life when I had nothing left to hold. was never just a place again. It was you. Tonight the stars are shining just for us. The whole wide world is falling beautifully quiet. Every road that led me here now makes perfect sense, because it brought me to your side. Searched through seasons I can barely count, looking for a heart that felt like home. Now your hand is resting softly next to mine, and I've never felt less alone. No diamonds, no castles in the sky, just your eyes telling me we'll be alright. Forever starts tonight, right here beneath these gentle lights. No perfect words, no grand design, just your heart forever holding mine. Forever starts tonight, with every dream we've kept inside. If tomorrow never comes the way we planned, I'll still be the luckiest man, because forever starts tonight. Grow a little older every year, trade our restless dreams for peaceful mornings, laugh about the little things we once called problems, and write our story one day at a time. When silver finds its way into our hair, and these hands are weathered by the years, promise we'll still dance around the kitchen floor, like we're young enough to chase forever. The world may change in ways we cannot see, but I'll keep choosing you endlessly. Forever starts tonight, right here beneath these gentle lights. No perfect words, no grand design, just your heart forever holding mine. Forever starts tonight, with every dream we've kept inside. If tomorrow never comes the way we planned, I'll still be the luckiest man, because forever starts tonight. One day we'll tell our children how it felt when two lonely souls became one heartbeat. We'll point up at these same familiar stars and smile because they watched it all begin. If every lifetime gave me one wish, I'd spend them all finding you again. For love like this was never born by chance. forever started tonight. Forever starts tonight. With you, always you. Used to dream in shades of gray, 1,000 roads with no place to stay. Then your smile found the quiet in my soul, and suddenly I wasn't walking alone. I never knew what tomorrow could be, until your heart started beating with me. The future opened like the morning sky, with your hand reaching out for mine. Every prayer I whispered through the years was leading me right here. Every dream had your name long before we ever met. Every wish I made in silence was a promise heaven kept. Every road I couldn't see was somehow leading me your way. Looking back, it's so clear now. Every dream had your name. I pictured little moments we would share, Sunday mornings and your windblown hair, a front porch where we'd watch the seasons change, growing old without a single regret. I imagine laughter filling every room, flowers blooming faithfully each June. I never realized those dreams were true until they all began with you. Some hearts spend forever searching in the dark. Mine was simply waiting for yours. Every dream had your name long before we ever met. Every hope I carried softly was a story not finished yet. Every lonely night I cried was another step of faith. Now I understand why love never came a day too late. Every dream had your name. If someone asked me where forever lives, I'd point to every memory we've made. Not in castles built upon the clouds, but in the quiet life we chose each day. And if tomorrow takes us somewhere new, there's only one place I belong. As long as I wait beside your heart, I'll always find my way back home. Every dream had your name It was just another Sunday afternoon. Coffee on the table, your favorite tune. The sunlight danced across your gentle smile. We laughed like we'd have all our lives. You reached for my hand without a word. The sweetest I love you I'd ever heard. Not spoken loud for the whole world to hear, just whispered in the silence we shared. If I'd known what tomorrow had in store, I'd have held you just a little more. That was the last time we were happy, the last time love felt young and free, before the distance found our hearts and slowly pulled them out to sea. If I could live one day again, I'd never let that moment end, because I never knew the last time we were happy was the last time all along. We made our plans like people always do, talking about dreams that would soon come true. A little house beside the autumn trees, a lifetime carried on the summer breeze. We didn't hear forever slipping away. It leaves so quietly, day after day. No thunder falling from the evening sky, just two hearts learning not to try. Sometimes goodbye wears no disguise. It hides behind familiar eyes. That was the last time we were happy, the last time hope still filled the air, before the silence grew between us and love became a whispered prayer. If I had known that kiss was ours to lose, I'd have memorized every breath of you, because I never knew the last time we were happy would become my favorite memory. Now every photograph still wears your smile, frozen in a world untouched by time, while I'm left searching through the years for a moment that no longer lives here. People say the heart moves on someday, but mine still lingers where we used to stay. Some memories don't fade with time, they become the place we live inside. That was the last time we were happy, though we didn't know it then. Love never tells you when it's leaving, it simply lets the story end. I give every tomorrow I have left just to stand beside you once again, to hear our laughter fill the room, to believe forever wasn't through. That was the last time we were happy, haven't said goodbye.
You never packed a suitcase by the door, never said you couldn't stay anymore. There wasn't one last kiss beneath the rain, no final train to take you away. You were still beside me every night, still smiling when you turned off the lights. But somewhere in the silence we became two strangers wearing lovers' names. Love doesn't always break like falling glass. Sometimes it simply fades without a sound. I never heard the goodbye. There were no tears to tell me why. No closing words, no last embrace, just empty echoes in your place. I never heard the goodbye, but somehow I lost you day by day. If hearts can break without a single word, then that's exactly how you walked away. The coffee still was waiting every dawn. Your favorite chair was right where it belonged. Everything looked just the way before, except your heart wasn't home anymore. Oh, I searched your eyes for what I couldn't see, a love that slipped away so quietly. The hardest kind of leaving to survive is when someone disappears while still alive. You don't notice autumn on the day the very first leaf falls. I never heard the goodbye, no final promise left behind, just little pieces of forever scattered through my restless mind. I never heard the goodbye, and every room still says your name. Some endings don't arrive like storms, they fall like snow, too soft to blame. Now I replay every ordinary day, searching for the moment love slipped away. Was it something that I never said, or every dream we quietly left unsaid? If I had known the silence meant the end, I'd have fought for us again and again. But no one teaches hearts to recognize the sound of love slowly saying goodbye. I never heard the goodbye, still I hear your absence every night. It's louder than the words you never spoke, and heavier than every tear I've cried. If I close my eyes, you're still standing in the doorway, smiling. The only difference now is I'm the only one still waiting. I still remember every word you said, like echoes dancing softly in my head. We thought forever couldn't fade away, but forever slipped from us one day. Pictures hanging quietly on the wall, still don't believe that love could ever fall. They're frozen in a world that still feels right, while I'm still waking up alone each night. If I had seen tomorrow in your eyes, I'd have fought the silence before it stole our lives. If love could turn back time, I'd run to where your heart was still mine. I'd rewrite every tear, every sleepless night before goodbye erased our light. If love could turn back time, I'd never let your hand leave mine. I'd trade every tomorrow I will ever know for one more yesterday with you. I hear your laughter drifting through the rain, like summer that will never come again. The house still whispers stories of your name, but nothing here will ever be the same. I've learned that memories don't disappear, they simply find a quieter place to live. Some hide inside a melody at night, some fall like stars beyond my sight.
Your name still rises with every prayer. If heaven offered me one single chance not to change the world, only one forgotten evening with you, I'd spend eternity just to live that moment again. If love could turn back time, I'd find you in another sunrise. I'd kiss away the miles, the pain, the pride, before they pulled our souls apart. If love could turn back time, there'd be no lonely road tonight. But time keeps walking, and I can't make it stay. So I'll keep loving you across every yesterday, until my own time fades away. Grand piano alone. Remember when the morning seemed to last forever? We never chased tomorrow, because today was all we needed. Remember when you'd laugh before I finished every joke, and somehow that small sound made the whole world feel alive. Back then, we never wondered how memories were made. We were too busy living then. Remember when a quiet drive could feel like paradise? No destination, just your hand finding mine whenever the road turned. Remember when rain would keep us under the same old porch? We'd watch the clouds drift by, thinking nothing beautiful could ever end. Looking back, those ordinary days were the extraordinary ones. Funny how life never tells you this is the moment you'll miss. It simply lets it pass and waits for your heart to discover its worth years later. Remember when love didn't need forever to feel forever. Remember when home was never made of walls. It was the sound of your voice calling my name if I close my eyes. Nothing has really gone, you're still there, somewhere between my heartbeat and yesterday. Remember when the years began to gather quietly? A few more lines upon our faces, a few more dreams behind our eyes. We thought we had all the time in the world. Funny how the world always has more time than we do. Now the chair across the room waits with me
coffee cools a little slower. The house settles into silence. Sometimes I almost hear you say I'm home. And for one beautiful heartbeat, I believe it. Remember when we promised nothing could ever come between us? Maybe we were wrong about forever, but we were never wrong about love, because love never really learned how to say goodbye. So if these old hands reach for yours only in memories now, then memories will always be enough to remind me how blessed I was to have loved you. Remember when I still do every single Remember when some stories never truly end. They simply become the quiet places where our hearts go when they miss someone. The house still wakes up the way it used to. Morning light still finds the same old floor. But something in the silence feels different now, like it's waiting for a voice that doesn't live here anymore. I still hear you in the smallest things, the way the kettle sings before it boils, the way the door used to close too softly when you thought I was still asleep. Now even the clock feels unsure, like it doesn't know who it's counting for. I kept your sweater on the back of the chair, not because I forgot to move it, but because some things feel heavy once they're gone. Sometimes I swear I see you passing by, just shadows shaped like memory, a movement in the corner of my eyes that disappears when I turn too fast. The room still remember your footsteps, but they don't follow them anymore. Funny how a place can hold a life long after the life is gone, and still pretend nothing has changed. This is the house that misses you. Every wall knows your name by heart. Every quiet corner still leads toward you.
They echo in the space someone used to make. Still set 2 cups on Sunday mornings, not because I expect you through the door, but because my hands haven't learned the difference between what was and what isn't anymore. The garden still grows in your direction, even when no one asks it to. Some roots don't understand absence, they just keep reaching for you. If walls could speak, they wouldn't tell stories of leaving, they tell stories of staying, of laughter that filled every empty space, of nights when silence meant peace, not distance, of love that didn't know it was temporary, so it never learned how to end. And maybe that's the cruelest kind of memory, not the pain of losing you, but the proof that you were ever here. This is the house that misses you, even when the sun comes through just right, even when the world outside keeps moving on. Nothing inside learns to do the same. This is the house that misses you, and I walk through it like a stranger now, 'cause every room still feels like yesterday, and yesterday still feels like home somehow. So if you ever wonder where I am, just listen to the quiet. That's where I stay. Oh, only piano remains. The house still waits, but not like before. Now it waits the way I do. I still save your place at the table, not because I think you're walking, but because the habit of loving you never learned how to stop pretending. The morning light still lands the same way on the empty chair by the window, where you used to sit with half-awake eyes and a smile that made silence feel full. I
tell myself it's just a memory, but my hands don't always agree. I still hear your name in small routines, in the sound of pouring coffee, in the way I pause at the doorway before stepping into a room alone. Some days I almost move things around, try to make space feel less like you, but every time I do, it feels like I'm erasing something sacred. So I leave it as it is, as if love still needs a place to sit. They say time teaches letting go, but time has only taught me how to carry you differently. Not gone, just quieter. I still save your place, not for what is, but for what was, for every ordinary moment that somehow became forever without asking us. I still save your place, and I don't know how to stop, because some parts of love don't leave the room, they just stop speaking out loud. If you ever wonder where I am, I'm right here, where I always was, saving your place. I've learned to live with empty mornings, to drink coffee made for one, to smile at days that no longer ask me who I used to be before you were gone. But some habits don't fade properly, they just lose their meaning slowly, like setting two plates on Sunday and realizing only one ever gets used. Still, I don't move the second one, because saving your place isn't about believing you'll return. It's about honoring a time when love didn't feel like something I had to survive. It felt like something I could simply live in. And maybe that's enough now to let love remain without needing it to stay. I still save your place, even though the years have learned my name, even though the world has rearranged itself and nothing else remains the same. I still save your place, not out of hope, but out of grace, because what we had deserves more than goodbye. It deserves a space. So if love ever becomes a memory, let mine be this: the table by the window, 2 cups, and a heart that never forgot where you used to be. Only piano remains, very soft strings dissolve. I still save your place.
Sometimes I wonder where you are now. Not in the world I walk through, but in the one we never got to see. Do you still laugh the way you used to? Do you still pause before you speak? Like you're choosing words carefully to keep the world from breaking. I don't know why I still ask these things. The answers never come back to me. Only silence wearing your shade. Someone who said I look distant, like part of me is always elsewhere. I smiled because she was right, but I didn't know how to explain it. How do you tell someone you're still living inside a moment that no longer exists? A place where your voice still answers mine, even if only I can hear it. They say life moves forward, and I do, at least on the outside. But some parts of me never left that turning point, the one where everything was still possible. Maybe in another life we didn't run out of time. Maybe we didn't learn goodbye before we learned your name. Maybe in another life we stayed inside that perfect day when nothing had to end for anything to be real. And if somewhere beyond this one we still exist the way we used to, then I hope you know I'm still there too, waiting. That no longer answers back. It's not sadness now, not exactly. More like understanding that some love stories were never meant to be finished here, only continue somewhere else. If there is a place where all the versions of us exist, the ones who stayed, the ones who left, the ones who never met at all, I hope they forgive us for not knowing how fragile forever was. And I hope in that place we finally get it right without even trying. Fall into goodbye, and every moment that we lost here, we get to live twice. So if this life is only part of
let me believe this too, that somewhere, somehow, you're still looking for me, the way I'm still looking for you.
I've learned to live with your absence, not as a wound that still bleeds, but as a shadow that follows softly wherever I go. Some mornings I still reach for your voice, not because I expected to answer, but because my heart forgets you're no longer here to speak. The world keeps turning like nothing happened, but I carry a different kind of weather inside me, one that never quite clears. There are nights I walk alone for no reason, no destination, no direction, just the need to feel the sky above me without walls, remembering your shape. I look at the stars differently now, not as dreams, but as distances I'll never measure, while I'm still here and still somewhere inside all this silence, I don't feel alone. I feel remembered. Maybe love doesn't end, maybe it only changes form, from holding to remembering, from presence to something quieter than time. Again, not to pull me away, but to remind me where I've been. If love is what we take beyond this place, then I already know what I will bring. Every moment you were mine, every breath we used to sing. And when heaven calls my name, I won't be afraid to go, because somewhere beyond this life, I'll finally let you know I never stop loving you. Used to think goodbye was an ending, a door that shuts and never opens again.
but now I understand. It was never a door at all, just a path that bends until we can no longer see each other, but still walk beneath the same sky. And somehow that feels like enough now. If there is a place beyond this life where time has no memory of pain, I don't need to find everything I lost, I only need to find you. Not as you were, but as you are now, in whatever light remains. And if I arrive there first, I will wait patiently, like I always did. And when heaven calls my name, I'll walk toward it without fear, because every road I ever walked was leading me to here. If love survives what time takes away, then nothing here was ever in vain. And I will carry you with me beyond the reach of pain. And when heaven calls my name, I won't say goodbye again. I'll simply say your name and understand it was never the end. Oh. Only piano remains, strings dissolve into silence. Final tenor saps breath, fades like memory. When heaven calls my name. The music doesn't feel the same tonight. It's softer than it used to be, like it knows the story is ending and doesn't want to wake the silence too hard. I sit here with the same old memories, not holding them tightly anymore, just letting them rest in my hands the way you once rested in my life. There was a time I thought love would break me, but it didn't. It stayed and became something quieter, something I could finally live with. I used to think healing meant forgetting, but I was wrong. Healing is remembering without bleeding. It's hearing your name without falling apart. It's sitting in the same quiet room and not needing anything to change for peace to exist. Somewhere along the way, the pain stopped asking to be heard, and all that remained was you as part of me. I don't chase the past anymore. this is how it ends, then let it end this way. Softly, honestly, and not alone. Time slowly teaching my heart how to hold both love and loss in the same breath. Now when I think of you, I don't break anymore. I just remember, and somehow that feels like enough. To the younger me, the one still waiting in the dark, I wouldn't tell him to move on, I wouldn't tell him to forget. I would tell him this, that love like this was never meant to be carried lightly. And even when it ends in distance, it still leaves something behind that no time can erase. A softer way of being human, until the music fades away. I'll let your memory stay in me, not as a story that was lost, but as a life I got to see. Until the music fades away, there's nothing more I need to say. No grand goodbye, no final scene, just love in its quietest way. So if you ever hear this song again, don't think of what we lost, think of what we were, and let that be enough. Only piano remains, very slow, one final sustained chord, until the music fades away.